Exclusively for Hampton Roads, Cox Communications presents Cox Business Television.
Hello and welcome to Cox Business Television. I'm Mike Bram. Our goal on this show is to offer key insights and advice regarding the challenges we face doing business in our region. In other words, it's about leaders powering leaders. Today we turn our attention to challenges impacting our workforce, both personally and professionally, that in some ways are unique to our times. How do we prepare our organizations for what some have tagged the Sliver Tsunami? Cox, in partnership with Inside Business, brought together a panel of experts on the subject for a recent executive discussion series. On the panel, we had HR experts and representatives from several industries, ranging from finance to ship repair. The challenges identified were just as diverse, touching on generational differences between boomers and new workers, the cost of retirement, the loss of expertise, and the difficulties of finding the skills companies need to grow their business. So let's dig into these and other topics that are challenging our local business leaders. Joining us now are two experts who are part of the executive panel. Dr. Michelle Tomaseski, Director of Operations for the Virginia Ship Repair Association, and Juan Cunningham, Assistant Vice President for Human Resources at Norfolk Southern Corporation. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You know, as we started to discuss during that executive panel discussion, it was really all about boomers and their impact. And one of the things that we saw as a pretty unique opportunity are there's 4 generations in the workforce at the same time. What are you all doing in your organizations to kind of help leaders figure out how they can best motivate and inspire people with 4 different generations in the workforce at the same time? Let me start with you.
In our industry, we're really expanding apprenticeship opportunities across the workforce, not just for the younger generation coming in, but for people who are transitioning into maybe their second or third career. And part of that is engaging our experienced workers not only in mentoring those who need to learn to become more experienced in their field and to cross-train them, but to also work with those who have experience to move into other roles within our organization. Okay. We might have people who go into computer-aided drafting after, being in welding for 50 years or something else. And so we're trying to do a better job of helping them achieve more education, achieve more training so they can work in the industry for another 15 years and not really focus on retiring completely out, but continuing to contribute.
That's cool. And Juan, how about you guys? Are you seeing the same kind of challenges and are you addressing the same way?
The challenges that our focus on addressing those challenges is through training. Any training that we involve ourselves in and involve our employees in includes a cross-section of individuals. Our focus really is to ensure that we have an effective knowledge transfer among our what we call non-agreement or management employees. For our union employees, it's a focus really of matching younger people with our more mature people.
Okay, and we know that for boomers, the leaving a legacy is very important. But also I think for us that are in the leadership positions, we know that we have to transfer this knowledge in order so we can maybe accelerate some of the younger people to meet those leadership challenges. How are you guys approaching mentoring? Is it a formal program or is it more ad hoc right now, or do you see that moving to more formal going down the road?
That's a real challenge in our industry because the people that we need to mentor are really on the ground. They're on the decks, they're working. So we're exploring some options for using technology to help us in that mentoring role. We have some software that we've already developed, and we're trying to work with some of the apprenticeship programs to allow them to have forums online. There are some really wonderful retirees who spend their time actually doing demonstrations and putting them on YouTube just because they want to transfer knowledge. Yeah, that's cool. I have a really good example is Tubal Cain, C-A-I-N-T-U-B-A-L, on YouTube, and he does wonderful work. And so we try to get the mentors to encourage the workers to look at that and then do demonstrations on the job and help them with performance.
Very cool. And as you all are working with your executive teams, and we're knowing now that many of the boomers may be staying into the workforce longer because both financially, but also they have that energy and that excitement, they want to keep going. How is that affecting your succession planning for your organizations? How are you addressing now maybe an elongation of for how long people are being, but also you have some of the newer employees that they want those opportunities. How are you dealing with that one?
Well, one of the things that we focus on more so than looking at keeping managers longer is helping the new generation recognize that it's not going to happen today. As one of the things that's happening in our organization is that there's more movement on a lateral basis for those individuals that are entering the workplace. Individuals that are already on the mature side of the scale are more than willing and to a great extent provide the kind of mentoring and coaching. I guess coaching is more what we're starting to target today rather than formalized mentoring. Do
we have to reset expectations though, that sometimes you say I've been in a job for 3 to 5 years, where's my next promotion? Do we need to start addressing expectations both for how long we're in a job and or that lateral is okay, up doesn't have to be the only way to go?
What I see a lot is that we talk about this sort of turnkey employment where they go from one job to another. And a lot of times the reason they're doing that is because they want different experiences. Mm-hmm. And so I think that lateral transition within an organization has to be coupled with experiential learning. It has to be built on expanding your knowledge base among that group of workforce that you're doing lateral movements with. Because if they feel like they're not gaining anything either intellectually, personally, and I think our workforce is more purpose-driven today, and they want to be a bigger part of the organization.
They want to feel the meaning. They want to know why they're working.
I don't think lateral moves are a bad thing. I think that we have to be very diligent in making sure that they offer a building of the workforce, not just shifting people into different positions because we need them somewhere else.
And Juan, your team, you were saying you've got over 4,000 job openings over the next couple of years, but they're in multiple states. Is there expectation that you're going to stay in one place, or that you will need to, to look at moving, or how are you guys dealing with these expectations?
The things that Michelle just mentioned about the expectations of young people in the workplace, it's real. I mean, it's not just. It's almost as if I got a new job today. Now, where's my next one?
Right.
I mean, that's one of the challenges that we that we face. We also face a challenge of, you mentioned being in multiple places. This idea of relocation. Today's generation is less inclined to want to relocate. Mm-hmm. Maybe the boomers didn't want to relocate either, but it was all about what can I do to really show the organization that I'm here, I'm seriously here, and I'll do all I can to succeed in my career.
Sure, great.
I think that that mindset is with every generation, that they want new experiences and they want to build on their knowledge.
And I think one of the things why we wanted to host this series really is that there is so much cooperative and cumulative knowledge in this region. We've got military folks, we've got folks that are career in both whether education or in industry. We've got a whole unique environment down here, and so maybe there's a way as we move forward from here that we can try to further leverage if someone finds their secret sauce, that there might be a willingness to be able to share some of that. And I wanted to thank you guys very much for coming today and being a part of this. Thank you for your leadership in our community, and thanks for sharing your insights with us today.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Coming up later in the show, more perspectives on workforce challenges, but first, some highlights from our executive discussion series.
We're asking employers to produce 5 to 7 minute realistic videos. So before they apply for the job, they can sit down to a computer and actually see that. And it talks about the careers, and it's so that we like to think of it as the good and bad and the ugly of the job. Because some jobs will pay a nice salary, but the lifestyle is not what the applicant wants. And what happens is they apply for the job, they get the job, the employer invests the money, and they get there in a month and find out they don't like the job.
Specifically in healthcare, we're seeing clinicians who are going back and getting degrees in information technology or clinical informatics because they can meld then the two worlds, and that is a huge, huge barrier for us. So a lot of that is happening now. On the flip side, you're seeing, again, some of the accountants who are getting specialization and reimbursement. For us, that's obviously how we get paid, and needing to know those 150,000 codes is very important. So you are seeing a lot of crossover these days.
To find out how you can join the next executive discussion series and see clips from past CBTV shows, go online to the Small Business Navigation Program presented by Cox Business. providing your business with the tools to succeed.